Hello everyone, welcome back to Napoleon Total War, the Russian campaign. And you can see from the map here, down the left hand corner, we've wiped out the Ottomans, which is good news. And now we can start moving towards the Italians. But predominantly it's going to be, our focus is going to be getting ships and troops all the way down here to the Spanish mainland, and to attack the Spanish mainland. That is our next priority. So, what we are doing is we are in the process of building up a navy. Now, the good thing is obviously, thank you for mentioning it in the comments, but these guys here, now we have a really good port in this particular area. So, we can build some real kick-ass ships, but it's going to cost money to do it. I mean, you know, you're talking about 2,700 for a ship like that. Now, up here, we are building the vestiges of a basic navy. So you can see, you know, a couple of 32-gun frigates, and then we'll get a few biggies sort of down here, and then we can use that to sort of push forward. Now, the only drawback we have at the moment is we've got this army here, which is pushing in towards the likes of Istanbul, which we took recently, and the other army that we've been using is actually now taken over Athens in Greece. So we've got Athens in Greece as well. So that was the final part of that, and we've now then captured that area. And obviously we've got harbours here as well, so you can see that's being built into a commercial port, and the plan is to then get some more trading ships into these areas and obviously deal with any problems that crop up. Now, that'll be helpful to have a supply warehouse. So we really need to deal with these guys first, though. Now, what we could do is we could sally forth and attack that army, because then, but the thing is, if you look at that sphere of influence there, it's quite large. I'm a bit worried that the other army may attack us, but you know, looking at this, I mean, it's a smaller army. We could build up these guys and bring them down to assist, but I'm not sure it's going to do much good. I mean, we could start building up armies there, but the problem was we were getting a bit low on money, and I don't really want to overstretch myself under the circumstances. If this army here was kept there so that we could deal with any problems that might come for our main recruitment area here in in Odessa, in Little Tatari. So we've also got forces up here in the centre, and we've also got forces up here on the far left-hand side, which is this army here, under the likes of Kamensky, and his job is to essentially put the brakes on any attempts by the Prussians to take advantage of the fact that we're fighting down in the south here. So these are the things that we need to consider. So you've obviously got, you know, ships like that, Valletta, the Spanish Navy, and we're going to be going up against these guys as soon as we come around the toe of Italy. So that's why we've got to have a reasonably substantial navy built up here. We can then obviously take these trade areas here and move out from sort of Athens area. Maybe obviously we're going to be turning that into a port as well, and then we can start sort of defending these areas a little better. Now the idea behind that is to then start pushing down here. If we look here, you can see Russian Empire. We're friends with all of those guys, but the Spanish Navy is probably going to be the biggest problem, I reckon. And we really need to get past the Spanish Navy in order to get to Spain at all. So that's going to be kind of our main focus, is building up a navy that we can then use to take out the Spanish Navy and secure our movement through the Mediterranean underneath the toe of Italy and Sicily. And then once we've got that, then we can start maybe building another fleet that will enable us to then start bringing the troops down from the depths of Russia, so to speak, bring them down into the Mediterranean and over to the likes of, you know, sort of down the bottom here. Maybe that might be a good area to sort of come and land in, near Barcelona in Catalonia, or maybe even a little bit further down here. I mean, you know, maybe make a move in towards Gibraltar, because then what we can do is we can then barricade that area, meaning that their ships will find it harder to get in and out. Now, the only drawback is it means that you're going to have a port like this, which is a trading port, but it means we could potentially block their access to these areas. Now, that's a region capital. Is that a port? No, it's just a town, so there's not really, I don't think, any French ports here. And you can see that the... Oh, correction, there is a port, there is a harbour there in Genoa. So that might be difficult for us, hence the reason why I want to start sort of saving the money if I can, not build any more armies, start securing this area, and deal with these guys here. So these are Ottoman revolutionaries, and they're not happy because of the level of general sort of doodah that's going on in here. Now you can see that it's at 6 and -4, and resistance to foreign occupations, garrisoned forces. Yeah, it's kind of the sort of thing that we're expecting. But what I'm thinking is that I'm going to actually take these guys here. I mean, it might mean that we have to take the town back if these guys walk in, but I want an equal battle between these two guys. And you can see there, 3,952 against 5,749. So I fancy our chances under the circumstances. You can see they've got quite a lot of troops in that regard, so let's have a punch-up. Now, the good thing is if we deal with this army, then it will mean we can move back to Constantinople or Istanbul, and we can then sort of replenish the forces before we go after the other Ottoman rebellion army, and then essentially wipe them off the map. All the time, while we're doing that, we're not creating any more armies, and it means that what we're going to be able to then do is start using that money that we saved to start building up navies, especially using the harbour that's in the Ottoman section where we are fighting at the moment. So let's get underway and see what we've got. So we've got horsey artillery. Now, they are up here. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put the horsey artillery here, because I want them to run up onto this hill and then start engaging the enemy. So we'll have those guys there, and what we will do is we'll have, I think, these two sections of grenadiers to support on either side the cannon. Okay, now these guys will keep in reserves. Now, let's see. Let's make the map a little bit bigger and sort out our regiments as to how we're going to lay them out. Now, obviously, we've got the cavalry up here. We'll put them in those woods. And then over on the right side, the slightly smaller cavalry, which we seem to have highlighted some troops. There we go. We'll put them up on that far right. As you know, I like doing that kind of tactic, where it gives me good spread of forces and horses all over the place, really. So I think we're going to take 4 regiments and line them up here. Now, what we'll also then do is take some of these guys here. Yeah, they're the Grens. Some of these guys, let's see. We're going to take 4 regiments and line them up on that side. Now, what that means then is we will have some additional regiments in the centre. So these will be the guys that are based in the centre, with grenadiers in reserve and the general at the rear. So what we're going to do is we're going to move these guys up to this hill. Now, obviously, it's a hill that's kind of full of trees, so it's not ideal as far as our artillery goes. But if we sort of put them there, it will improve their range and at least give them more visibility. And they are horse artillery, although, look at that. That's a nice little spot. It's not as high, But it's still a nice little spot. I'm wondering if that would be a better option. And then we can put the troops down there to protect them. Yeah, I'm thinking that that might be a better option. So let's do that. We'll get these guys over to here. And we won't unlimber them because they are horsey artillery, so they'll be able to move pretty quickly. We'll get these guys to run in because they'll be standing still after the first part of the battle, after the artillery's in position, so we don't need to worry about that. So well, let's do that now. Let's get these guys into there now and get them to run. And let's get these guys up to here, get them running, and these guys we'll put here and get them running as well. Now, you can see here this lovely brigade of troop. We will move them up to there, I think. And then in the centre, we will have these guys. And we will move them up into the wooded area there. And then over on the right-hand flank, we will move these guys up to that position. Now, what we'll also do is we'll get the clippity-clops to move in as quickly as they can, because we want them to move into a position where they can essentially get in behind the enemy. Now you can see here that there's the horses and here come the boys, so you can see that there's a danger that we could get jumped by enemy. Now let's see, let's get them up to here, let's run them, because I don't like the speed at which those guys are moving. It's making me nervous. And let's get these guys into position, get them unlimbered, and we're moving all of these guys up here. There's the grenadiers working together and staying with the general to keep him protected. So these guys are all moving there. Those guys are going there. These guys need to go here. And look at that. See, that's what I'm worried about, is that line of horse. So that's what we're going to be setting up to try and protect against. Now, obviously, we can get these guys in behind to sort of deal with any kind of artillery that's in here. So these fellows, because they'll have like, you know, they've only got 9-pounder, so it's not too bad. But it's these guys, sort of, you know, the big bastards that we're worried about. But my boys are now engaging them, which is good. So these guys here can go into square formation to give them the best chance. Those guys should be running. And these guys are going to cover the left side. So, or the left flank, I should say. So we'll move them just up to the edge there like that. Now, if we move over onto the right-hand side here, you can see guys in the central section. They're moving up, and we're not moving them fast. We want to keep them happy. We want to keep them non-exhausted, because they're probably going to be doing most of the fighting. So these guys here are in a good position. So what we're going to do is going to move one there, and we're going to move another one sort of about over here, so that we have the option to charge them if need be. So you can see that our forces are progressing well, and the advantage obviously of these guys ending up in the wooded area means that they will be able to engage the enemy while being behind additional cover. So we're going to stretch all those guys out, but the thing is, they're going to then come under fire from the artillery section. But if we look at this, I forgot to set that to be control 1. I always like to have my artillery in that grouping so that I can control them and tell them to focus fire, like that for example. So they're going to focus fire onto those guys to stop them coming any closer. There you go, so you hit their morale almost immediately. And these are 9-pound artilleries. Now that's interesting, you notice that, oh goodness me, what's going on here? There's a line of guys coming up behind us. Let's attack them. Let's get our boys out of that hiding area. And these guys are well hidden. And there are some enemies over there, so we're not really worried about that. And you can see that we're doing a good number on their artillery at the moment. So we're going to keep focusing on that. These guys are literally staying there in a holding position. We might want to consider moving these guys up just a little bit, sort of, so they're a bit more sort of able to flank. So if we were to move them to there, that gives them a good range sort of movement and stuff like that. Now you can see here, looks like we've got to run in by this cavalry. So what we're going to do is we're going to run those guys in now, just to make sure that they do not get caught out, and we've got to keep an eye on the map to make sure we know what's going on. Now let's see if we can find out what's going on here. Now you probably notice I'm talking a lot more during this battle than I have in previous things, and this was kind of thing that I was thinking about when it comes to sort of, you know, how I do the battles, how I do the commentaries for the games and for things like Napoleon. And I just realized that I wasn't talking enough, I wasn't being essentially entertaining enough, and so I just wanted to improve that, really. And so hence the reason why I'm talking a lot more. I hope you guys will then sort of be able to understand, for example, you know, my thinking through the battle, and, you know, it will make it a more enjoyable video for you. So please let me know in the comments if you're liking the fact that I'm talking a lot more. Those guys need to run. And what we're doing is we are essentially, there we go, we've done a lot of damage to those horses.
Our men are running, sir.
Oh God, where are they running from? Oh goodness me. Oh, they ran onto the bloody spikes, you idiots. Oh, serves them right then. Yeah, never mind, idiots. Whoa, okay, over here, quick. Quick, where are my boys? Here we go. Quick, get into a square, boys, get into a square, quickly. Oh, they made it, fantastic. That could have been really, really unfortunate for us. Now, what we need to do then is bring these lads round to there, so that we can essentially deal with them. Because look at this. Masses of horses coming in. And here is our boys also trying to deal with the horse problem. There we go, look at these guys. They're all over us. So we've got to watch our lads and make sure they don't run into any problems.
Our men are running, sir.
Yeah, there we go. See, look, overwhelmed by the sheer number of horses. Oh crap. Square quickly. So this was always going to be the problem in the centre. So here are the boys holding the left flank, and these guys, which are going to be the ace in the hole, so to speak, means that we can actually then start moving these guys in here like that, and they can actually get themselves into a very nice flanking manoeuvre. And the boys in the centre are literally overwhelmed with sheer weight of numbers of horse and all sorts of other horrible stuff. But they are fighting back, they are reducing the morale of the horses. And obviously you've got these guys who are defending as well. We can get some of those horsemen dealt with. Now this is the only drawback we've got. I think we're going to have to get these guys up as well. So let's get these guys in to support. And they're going to run in. And there we go, you can see them being broken there. So these guys have defended that horse. And we are going to fire the cannons onto those positions there. Now, this was always going to be a dangerous battle for us. You can see the squares are getting slowly smaller as they're just being overwhelmed by the sheer weight of the artillery now. Or, sorry, of the cavalry. Now, we've still got our other cav here. So we are going to do a run onto their artillery. And they're going to do some damage to those bastards. There we go, these guys remain in square. They're still in square. That's good. We've got these guys here. Now, where are my other boys? Here we go. They're also squared. And these guys are continuing the battle as well. So, let's see what's over here. Yeah, more squaring. Here come the reinforcements. We're going to move them to there. Keep them running. And you can see here. Yeah, let's get them running. They can rest after when they're dead or when they've finished their battles. So these guys are continuing. Now the only drawback is those guys now are going to get flanked. So we've got to move those guys sort of back a little bit. Because otherwise they're in danger of being outflanked on that far side. Now let's have a look here. The square continues. There we go, the squares are continuing. Let's have a look. There we go. There's our cav. Let's go in after these boys. How is this section getting on? They're coming under a lot of pressure right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to unsquare these guys and then bring them up to here. See, this is the kind of problem that we've got, is these rampaging lines of horses. And these guys have got to get out of there because they're in danger of being flanked. So these guys have got to move fast. Because otherwise they're going to get outflanked. And that's a dangerous situation for them. So what we'll do is we might have to sort of move them up to here and get them out of there. Now, how are these boys getting on? Yeah, these guys are doing okay. We're quite happy with that lot. Now, here comes our outflanking force. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take two of those and move them to there so they can flank that lot. And then we're going to move these guys up to assist with this lot here. And we're going to run them in. These guys are continuing to fire back at the enemy. In the centre, the horses are starting to break, which is the kind of thing that we're after. And over here, you can see all these numbers of people are having problems. So, here we go, there's another square there. Let's just check on all our numbers. Yeah, they're looking okay. Let's take these guys out of square, as that's what we're looking at the moment. So that's looking alright. Actually no, they need to stay in square because they're the defence for the artillery. Slight mistake there. Now that's great because they're all breaking, which means we can move those guys to there to follow up as he chokes to death, and we can move these guys in to assist on the main section of the battle. Now you can see these guys here are still defending against the enemy and doing a fantastic job. So let's check to make sure there's nobody on their right side. So what we'll do is we'll just move them up a little bit closer. There we go, they've just broken those guys there. Now here is the other sections in the centre. You can see all of them moving up, and we'll continue to fire the cannons on the centre here. And what are these guys doing? Are they in danger of being attacked? Yes, they are. Let's get them in there. Actually, no, let's not. Let's get those out of here, and let's go for the cannon. I want those cannon finished off. Now, the only drawback, there's 160 of them and only 40 of my horses left. So I've got to pick and choose how I use them. Now, here are these guys here. That's an awful lot of people. And now my boys are engaging them. Fantastic. Oh, what's going on here? Damn it, didn't get enough to square them. Gonna pull those guys back so that they can get out of that battle, and then hopefully the square can support them. So let's go and see where these cavalry are. And let's go in and see if we can get some of those cannons. So it's a bit of a messy battle, I have to say. But I'd say that things aren't going too bad, speaking generally. See, there's the general, who's horsey. So we're going to put them into square so they can deal with the general. And now these guys can cross there and continue to move up. So you've got these guys here looking good. Let's move them up even further. Whoops, no. Let's keep them there because otherwise they're in danger of being flanked. Where are our Grens? There are our Grens. Okay, so it looks like the left flank is starting to buckle somewhat. So we need to get some forces down to the left flank. So we'll send those guys down here. Oh, they're in square, so now they can move. And let's have a look to see where our horses are located. So here is our Clipticlops. And they're in danger of being attacked, so we need to get them in to that location. Actually, they're already broken, so let's deal with these guys here and finish those off. Now, let's also move these forces over to counteract and support our boys on this flank. There we go, they'll deal with that lot. And now we've got these boys here.
A glorious victory, sir.
We'll take them out
To be yours.
of that mode and then we'll move them up to support these fellows here. So we'll take him out of square and we'll move him up. This has been a pretty costly battle, but it's been a very hard fought one, I have to say. So let's take these guys out of square so they can move up as well. Here we go. Get those guys to the focus on that lot. And then we'll bring these guys here into a flanking position. Now we've got these guys. No, we'll keep them back. Keep them back. And have a look at the flank position. And these guys are also then moving up as well. Move this regiment up to move into that position. And see how things go. You can see that the general is still there. But we don't really have any horsemen that could get to him. We could potentially, but then it's only 24 of 42, so no. I'm going to send that cavalry back behind the lines because I'm not happy with them being put in danger.
One of our units has used all its ammunition, sir.
Oh, really? Okay, boys. Well, in that case, you're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. You're going to have to get in there and stab them all. And we'll move these guys up to here. Now these guys will have to move there to deal with the fact that they may be overrun. And then we'll move these guys to here to sort of home in and sort of box in those guys as best we can. Now I'm not seeing... Oh, there's a general. Yep, square. And these guys can square as well. Just so we do extra damage to that general. Get those guys all stabbed. There we go, that was the end result that we were after. Enemy general's been killed, which you would expect him to. Look at that. Lost nearly half his men in that attack. Which is exactly the kind of result that we would be looking for. Now these guys here, let's get all of them stabbed and bring these guys out to here and get them stabbing as well. Well, they've already run. So the only ones that remain intact are these guys over here. So we're going to move them to there. And then these guys will bring out of square. Oh, they're already breaking. There we go. Wow. I have to say, I'm very, very pleased with that battle. That's always a problem when you deal with the Ottomans, is just sheer weight of numbers. It's impressive. And you can see there, we lost 1,664 men. But we killed like nearly 3,000 of them. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that result. Now, this gentleman can get back into there and start replenishing his numbers. Now, we will obviously have to probably recruit some more musketeers for that. So that will be a good thing. Now, let's have a look at the horses, because I'm right in thinking, yeah, we got uhlans, or lancers, but we don't have hussars. Interesting. Anyway, so the point is that that's a good result. That's the kind of result that we were hoping for. We've essentially wiped out that army, and that army is now significantly less of a threat to us. Now, we could, because essentially, once these guys have replenished some of their numbers, go and deal with that army, because otherwise he's going to be wandering around and doing all sorts of horrible stuff to our equipment and starting burning stuff and things of that nature. So, you know, which is just rude, if you ask me. I mean, that's just not on, is it? I mean, you know, not even a how do you do or anything like that. It's no, they come in and they set fire to everything. So I think after that occurrence, what we're going to do is we're going to end the turn and see what fate and fortune brings us. Well, gentlemen, walking through the depths of Russia to get to a area of learning. Now, are the French Empire making inroads into Austria? I wonder. Let's see. Now, one thing I have done is I was speaking to Mal, and he was saying that they had problems with the music being claimed for Empire and Napoleon and things of that nature, and he'd been speaking to CA, and CA had got involved with Sega, and they'd start pushing back at that. So that, I think, is a wonderful thing, and it's something that we can hopefully get sorted out as far as we're concerned, because then we can start having music back again. Armchair Gentleman. Research points for military technologies. That's good. And, oh, fire and advance. And then we're on to the carronade, which is excellent. Now you can see, here we go. We have built good roads in Bucharest. And we have built a dockyard in Little Tatari. Now you can see, there we go, the dry dock, which enable us to build all sorts of good things. Now, we'll leave it as that, I think, to be honest, because I don't think we want to go any further than that, where that navy is concerned, because we're going to be building most of our navy down here. Now, we've got 5,600. So, what I think we're going to do is we're going to build an 86 ship, or 86 cannon ship of the line there. We might even, yeah, let's make 2. So there we go. That will be part of a serious kick-ass navy. Now, over here, you can see we've got a 32-gun frigate, and we will get some trade ships down here as well. Now, whether or not we're going to have, so you've got sloops, brigs, bomb ketches, lovely, 32-gun frigates, 50-gun ship of the lines, more ships of the lines, and then just ships of the lines and ships of the lines. Now, let's see, because, see, brig, 32-gun frigate. Now, I'm guessing that's because it's a dockyard and not a trading port. So, what I think we need to do is look at a place that will then create all the all the trade ships that we want. Now you can see there it's a commercial center, and let's have a look at Athens, Greece, and there is a harbour. Now that's turning into a commercial port, and that's what we're after. So it will come out of there. So what we need to do is we have to get our ships down to here to protect this area, make sure that they can get to those areas for trade, build trade ships, get to those areas, and go from there. So this will be sort of like the main area where we'll be building these serious kick-ass ships, and then we shall move from there. So here you can see that's where the army is now gone. You can see they're looking at the intellectual centre with probably a view to doing some damage to it. Now if we have a look at our army, see our army is replenishing those numbers. We could probably do with at some point recruiting another one of these musketeers, but this agent can now leave there, and what we'll do is we need to get him all the way down and start scouting out Spain. Now that is going to be a long ass run. So there goes our boy. Now the trouble is, we could conceivably actually, rather than do that, we could conceivably send that guy sort of into the centre of France and send our other spy, who is in Greece, down elsewhere. So let's send him into there, and let's get our other spy, who is currently sitting in Athens and doing a lovely job, we have to say. We shall get him up here. Now it will probably be quicker if we did him overseas, but I don't think we're going to have that option. So he's going to make his way there through the Balkans and up through there. So that's going to be the direction that we're going to go with him. Now we do have another spy in the centre. That's a good thing. Now I'm wondering if we can get him over in that general direction there. So there we go. We've got spies moving all over the place now. So what I think, see, I'm wondering if it's worth having one spy watching the Prussians. How is the situation between the Prussians? Who are they friendly with? They're at war with the French Empire and the Kingdom of Italy. Okay. So they are allied with the Austrian Empire, so they should not be taking any areas of Austria, which is fine. Now you can see they're very friendly, they're very friendly, they're very friendly. Now let's have a look at the lesser nations. Most of them can't trade, which is unfortunate. And you can see obviously the Latvian Republic, which is way the balls up here, who are currently holding on to areas of Holland. But to be honest, that's the least of our worries. We don't really need to worry about them in any kind of serious way. So I think that's where we're going to end this week's episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed the new style of commentary on the battles, and feel free to let me know. And obviously if you enjoy the video, chuck a like down there. Feel free to make comments, talk about the strategy, talk about, you know, just generally what the plan is, whether you think that's a good idea, whether you think it's a bad idea, etc. Everything is welcome. Anyway, we'll see you next time, boys and girls. Have fun.